Test, what's up guys? Francis and Dad here. Long time no see again. Welcome to my channel and the program. Tonight I'd like to present some of my personal thoughts and opinion regarding how I managed to categorize the types of the worldly problems, issues, and lots of analysis regarding causality and the human behavior, humans' psychology behind many sins, many wrongdoings, many irrational decisions. So please allow me to read an extracted text from the Bible before we can officially proceed with the video. So if you have a Bible in front of you, I highly suggest you open it up and turn to the book of Genesis, chapter 3. Chapter 3, yeah. The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verses 14, chapter 3, verses 14 to 19, yeah. The version for the Bible I am holding is called New Living Translation. House Publishers, Carroll Stream, Illinois. And I will cause hostility between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. Then he said to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain you will give birth, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. And to the man he said, since you listened to your wife and ate from the tree whose fruit I commanded you not to eat, the ground is cursed because of you. All your life you will struggle to scratch a living from it. It will grow thorns and thistles for you, though you will eat of its grains. By the sweat of your brow will you have food to eat, until you return to the ground, from which you were made. For you were made from dust, and to dust you will return. And then followed by Paradise Lost, God's judgment. So what do you guys think of this extracted text from the Bible? Basically, it explained, where and how the misery of mankind began. Satan used a very simple and straightforward method of deception to turn Eve from God, and then use Eve's in indoctrination to lure Adam into sin. So as you can see there, or perhaps you may not have actually seen where and how it all began. So allow me to go a little bit simpler. So let's see. First of all, let's take a look at the divorce rate of each nation, of each worldly country. Based on the recent research I've done online using Google search and some academic journals I have got my hands on to access using the pools I had at the University of Sydney. So for now, at the moment, the divorce rate in China sits somewhere between 25% to 30%. So I have pretty much considered the risk factors that might have caused that divorce to happen. Pretty much we can attribute to each and every divorce case, to the distrust, to the distrust and hostility between the wife and the husband. I have a cousin, and let's say, for example, somehow my sister-in-law discovered my cousin had he just have had some chinwags with that female co-worker on WeChat, and somehow my sister-in-law, she started to accuse my cousin of cheating, and but apparently, and in fact, I know almost with certainty that my cousin, he didn't cheat. He didn't cheat. He had no certain or no apparent motives to cheat on his wife. So, and we don't have the indisputable. We don't have anything indisputable to prove that my cousin has cheated. And still, it basically turned into a riot, or perhaps not exactly a riot, but some physical conflicts and confrontation, also some violence against the furnitures in his house. Well, pretty much, I am telling you guys what I have heard and what I've been thinking of. Why the world we reside in has so many problems, and I tried to categorize those problems into three categories according to their respective causes or their respectively different genesis. Let's say the very first I suppose has to be socioeconomic causes, such as the conflicts, the fights, the conflicts between two distinct, between two ethnically distinct groups, such as the Indians, Malaysians, and Chinese before the establishment of Republic of Singapore. So that's basically what caused Singapore to become independent. Think about that. And second, the political. We can attribute the problems we have in this world to different political ideologies, political interest groups, parties, etc. What about the third? The third one, perhaps I don't have to actually point that out explicitly. It's the infights we tend to have among family units, such as wife cheats on husbands, husbands cheat on their wives, or apparently they cheated on their spouses. So as a result, it's those fear of losing someone or something that drive us crazy, drive us insane, and it then push us and tempts us into making more rash, into taking more rash actions and making more decisions, and thereby causing us to sin, thereby causing us to go beyond the boundaries, to go beyond the commandments which God has predetermined. We all pretty much look for something more to satisfy our innermost desires, innermost wants. Perhaps, we can see cheating as a sort of pursuit of inner happiness, as well as, or aka spiritual satisfaction. So no matter which category we attempt to categorize those problems we tend to face in society, in this wicked world, it all pretty much fall into one single point, and that point can be seen as the first day of the birthday of modern civilization, of modern not the modern system, the pretty much the foundation of nowadays society and system. If you take a closer look at the news, daily news you usually see, pretty much all of them try to induce fear, distrust, and infighting among people. That can include those people I am referring to, can include but are not limited to to the people you trust, to the people you love, to the people you hate, whatsoever. You know, I have perhaps none of you might agree to that. I still like to point those out, lest I forget to mention those. So feel free to tell me what you guys think. Self-preservation. Yeah, I just happened to did some, I just happened to do some simple research regarding such topic, and it didn't yield much of the results I hope to see. So anyway, I shall include that. Let's take a look. So let's do a search on self-preservation instinct and its genesis. Google search, redirect to Wikipedia. Self-preservation is a behavior that ensures the survival of an organism. It is also universal among living organisms. Pain and fear are integral parts of this mechanism. Pain motivates the individual to withdraw from damaging situations, to protect a damaged body part while it heals, and to avoid similar experiences in the future. Most pain resolves promptly once the pain stimulus is removed and the body has healed. But sometimes pain persists despite removal of the stimulus and apparent healing of the body. And sometimes pain arises in the absence of any detectable stimulus, damage or disease. Fear causes the organism to seek safety and may cause a release of adrenaline, which has the effect of increased strength and heightened senses such as hearing, smell, and sight. Self-preservation may also be interpreted figuratively in regard to the coping mechanism one needs to prevent emotional trauma from distorting the mind. See defense mechanism. Even the most simple of living organisms, for example, the single-celled bacteria are typically under intense selective pressure to evolve a response that would help avoid a damaging environment. If such an environment exists, organisms also evolve while adapting, even thriving in a benign environment. For example, a marine sponge modifies its structure in response to current changes in order to better absorb and process nutrients. Self-preservation is therefore an almost universal hallmark of life. However, when introduced to a novel threat, many species will have a self-preservation response, either too specialized or not specialized enough to cope with that particular threat. Citation needed. An example is the dodo, which evolved in the absence of natural predators and hence lacked an appropriate general self-preservation response to heavy predation by humans and rats, showing no fear of them. Self-preservation is essentially the process of an organism preventing itself from being harmed or killed, and it is considered a basic instinct in most organisms. Most call it survival instinct. Self-preservation is thought to be tied to an organism's reproductive fitness and can be more or less present according to perceived reproduction potential. If perceived reproductive potential is low enough, self-destructive behavior, the opposite, is not uncommon in social species. Self-preservation is also thought by some to be the basis of rational and logical thought and behavior. So we don't have actually anything else, anything that has more specific explanation on the genesis of self-preservation here on Wikipedia. So I suppose we should check out some academic journals instead. So what do you guys think? Feel free to let me know. You can contact me via Google Hangouts. I have attached my Gmail address onto my YouTube channel, you can simply see it by clicking that for business inquiry button, and then you just proceed to the verification. You will get my Gmail, and we can have more chinwags on Google Hangouts. So I look forward to seeing you guys on Google Hangouts or on YouTube. Stay tuned, stay faithful, stay blessed, and I shall see you on the next video on YouTube. Bye bye. Cheers.